With that done, now we can create the sync. We can actually go online and type in sync dimension. You find a lot of the information, or you just measure something you have at home. And let's go to here. We see we have nice rounded edges. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we build this. We will create first a plane somewhere, doesn't matter. And then we will, in edit mode, scale this one down. So press tab. And in this, in object mode, is kind of 24.5 inches deep, 26 actually. So 26.5 inches. You can actually type in inches too when you have those as a measurement. Pretty cool. The sink itself is kind of like 15 inches deep. We'll just create another object and type in 15 inches and let's say 20 inches. Okay, so this is just only as a reference. So I kind of like see more or less how big that thing is. No, whoops, wrong one. Nope, wrong two. There, wireframe. I want to select the plane that defines actually the countertop. Then I go into edit mode. You see the face is selected and I press I and I can scale this down. I will set my snapping to vertex and move the arrow key, hold control, and then here you see I snap to the size of that smaller rectangle I created. So click, hold shift click, move, hold control. You see there's a snap target, release the left mouse button. So this way very easily we create kind of like a space for the opening, which as you see we can select the face and then delete it. I leave edit mode, select the smaller plane and delete it. Go back to shaded mode. And there we have an opening. Okay. This whole thing has a thickness of 1 inch. So we can give this a solidify modifier, type in 1 inch. Boom. There we are. These edges here I would like to be rounded. So I can't select them, however, right now, as you can see, because the modifier creates that geometry. So I will apply the modifier. Now I can select the actual geometry. There. And then here is a bevel weight. So I can assign a value of 1 to the bevel. And that means if I now add a bevel value, I can set the weight. And the weight is kind of like a filter. Everything that has a weight will use the bevel. Say 2 inches, 10 segments. Very nice. Again, with the weight, what this means, let's say here I select this one and I start adding the bevel weight, you see increasingly it's being beveled. So 0.5 bevel weight would mean 50% of the width. So we can assign one maximum bevel size and then have edges assigned that use 100% or less. Okay, very good. So you see there we have our rounded edges. However, there are some more rounded edges there, so we need now to plow another bevel over it. There. In this case here we say angle. That bevels all angles, 2 millimeters, maybe 10. Zoom in, there we are. Little tip here, 0.5 we send to 0.6, so that actually the bevel doesn't look like a circular bevel, but more like a nice, nicely designed circular. You can see we collapse it. 0.5 is like a geometrically good, but 0.55, 0.6 starts to look smoother. Very good. Okay, we want to right click in object mode, say shade smooth. So and actually then this is nicely rounded. We have a small backsplash there. So we can simply shift A, add a cube. In edit mode, I scale this one down. Go to here, move this one up, move this one down, move this one to the right, select this face, and then you see we have the snapping command. I'm holding control, snap it to these edges, bring this over. And when we turn on measurement and length, you see actually the length of edges which you have or which are being modified. Let's say these edges should be 5 centimeters. And we just scale this one down. And then when we hold shift, we go in smaller steps. And there, this one is now 5 centimeters. That should be maybe 2.5, half an inch or whatever. Let's make this one higher because we don't want to see this later. The whole thing is, as we can see, not wide enough. So in edit mode, we can select this face. But here, now this is Blender 2.8. So those who know the older version, we can select both objects, press tab, and we can select geometry from both objects. So that's pretty nice. Do the same here. There, very good. Okay, with that already done, we can do now, instead of moving the brush, I just move actually my sink. Go to this view, move this one up, G and Z obviously, and make sure that my opening is not along Z, I hope. Yeah, it's not. Very good. G and X, bring it over a little bit more. There. Okay, good. Now we brought this into position. Very nice. Now we want to quickly create a sink that's below. How do we do this? We can Shift D, make a copy of this object, move it down. Then I go into edit mode. I select all these corner edges here and X them. And then I select these points here, move them down, and press F. The whole thing is maybe 10 inches. So Z, 10 inches. Let's say 8 inches. Okay, very good. And then I can move this one up. And via control snap to something on the bottom there. Very good. Okay. There's our sink. Very nice. The sink is actually kind of roundish. Also on the bottom, this is not really that flat. We can, if we want, adjust this fillet a little bit like this. Or we turn this off, and then here we just use none. So it rounds all edges equally the same. Actually, I don't like this. This looks more modern. Very good. Let's give this also a little material thickness. Solidify modifier just to the outside. But the solidify modifier I snap up one step. This actually then will create a nice rounding also on there. Control Alt B shows you kind of like what I'm talking about there. So maybe 0.5 millimeters. Oops, that was the modifier I meant. This one here, 1 centimeter. 5 millimeters. 2 millimeters. Yeah. Something else here is going on. I don't want to explain this right now. It's not really much of a distraction. So now we can turn this off. That actually then helps the filleting a little bit better. Okay, good. Nice. And if you don't want the solidify, we can turn this off. Then actually we have a little bit more play with this because it was running also the upper part. What we want to make sure then this whole thing in edit mode is just a little bit wider each direction. Okay, good. Let's take a look at our reference. There we are. Now we see actually a nice big rounding there. Okay, so backtrack. So yeah, we can play with this. There we are. Okay, very good. So that was a quick way how to render actually such a space. And in the next video, we will add some basic lights, materials for the countertop in the metal, and then the camera. And then we will try to match this angle. Where